Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and we are hanging out here in Satisfactory again. I did some number crunching yesterday after stream, or after dinner really, and we have a couple things to check. I'm going to give the balance of the bauxite train one last go before I really feel like I have to redesign the entire train. But for now, we will at least try to balance out the way that things are coming into the bin. MindTripMedia with 100 bits not lurking today, which means you're actually here. Thanks so much, MindTrip. Great to see you. And we're hanging out here in the Blueprint Designer because I was looking at the manufacturers yesterday, and specifically looking at comparing the heavy modular frame recipe we are using. Right? Is it 2? I think it's 2. Right? So 10 modular frames, 15 steel, 30 steel pipes, 10 encased industrial beams, and 200 screws. But now we have the alternate recipe for that, which gets rid of screws, adds more concretes and steel, but it gives us these weird numbers: 7.5, 9.375, 33.75, and 20.625. Annoying, yes. However, if you mess around with overclocking, then you can get some pretty round numbers like 8, 10, 36, and 22. Or you can simply build enough machines that doesn't matter. So we can't go all the way up to necessarily 7, but multiples of 3 work. This number ends up being a little bit funky, but we can do 3. We can do 6, or instead of that, what we can do is build 8 of them. So I'm going to take that down. Take that back. And if we go up here, currently we actually have 8 manufacturers making the old recipe with the screws. There are all the screws right there. But if we look at the calculations for everything, if we build 8 machines, then that's 7.5, 33.75. All those funky numbers end up being 60, 270. Those are very easy belts. 75 encased industrial beams, 65, 165 concrete. It gives you a funky number on the heavy modular frames, but that just means that we've got a couple that we can store into our storage. So I think what we're going to do is keep the 8 that we have, but we're going to change the recipe. And that's going to change all of this stuff flowing into it. The good news is, though, that at the end of the stream yesterday, we hooked up the concrete coming out of here. Right there. Now, I don't think I'm going to send it across right here. I think one of the things I need to start doing is sending things back to the main bus rather than just in a straight line. So where this exits out here and comes in and goes up into the garbage and then across there, I think it might be worth it, because we've got the room, to run it back this way. And then what we'll do is we'll bring it out. We have to worry about this, I guess. We'll bring it out into the main area somewheres back here and hook it up to a line its own so that we got concrete out here, because there's going to be extra. And that way we can still get the concrete where it needs to go. Even if we just bring it back to here or something, this would probably be a good spot for it. So we may end up moving a few things around, but I think we can come up with some hard and fast rules on how to approach this stuff. But the good news is that with all of this concrete that's being produced, we have more than enough to do the encased industrial beams, the concrete, and it gives us some extra for storage as well. So we are making 80, but we need 75, so that's fine. We can either underclock a machine or we can just grab one for ourselves, you know. Bryn47, hello, welcome in. Cosmic, good to see you as always. Blast Jordan, hello. The other thing we need to look at is the bauxite. That's over here. So we've got green lights across the board. It's flowing right now, but it eventually stops. And that's not what should be happening. And these amounts just look kind of funny. So we'll have to go check things out. I don't see any yellow lights. But right now we're functioning at 100%. We're close to it. Well, not that one. I shouldn't say 100%. I should say we're not stalling, but we're only at 60%. It looks like, yeah. But weirdly, it's 60% on those. Same here, 56. Then these ones I feel like are 100%. Nope, 61. Yeah, so they've all dropped to 65. Which means that we're not bringing in enough bauxite, right? If everything is 65 all the way back to here, then we're obviously just not bringing in enough bauxite because the water seems fine. So at some point the bauxite just stops. If these are full, I don't understand why we're only getting 69%. This is going as soon as it's being made. I don't think this is light on coal. No, this is full on with coal. Yeah, I don't understand why this is such a strange number. It should be running at 100%. But these are obviously not going full tilt either. There's a little bit going, but not much. So what we've got here is I set up a couple of quick constructors. This is just making our all-clad sheet, or no, sorry, these are the aluminum casings for our storage because we need those to build stuff with. And then these are the sheets, and these are for Mark V belts. Those guys right there. And so we're building just a little bit at a time and then sinking the rest. And that's just temporary, just to kind of keep our storage facility going. Do you have to-do list for Satisfactory, or is that in the spreadsheet? The spreadsheet is kind of the to-do list. I do have a to-do list that I pop open from time to time on the left-hand side of the screen, or the right-hand side. But for now, what we need to do is check out the... yeah, see, there's an empty bauxite line already. I need to check out what's happening with the bauxite, which means taking the train up to the bauxite mine and trying to figure out what's going on. Which I did yesterday, so I'm not thrilled that I have to do it again. So this will be the last time. If I can't figure out how to do this, then I'm just going to have to look up a tutorial. Because I'm missing something. And that looks like the bauxite train coming in right now. So these will give you the throughput. 436, 436, 436, and 95. So the good news is that whatever load balancing I'm doing is working. The problem is it's not maximizing the flow rate, I guess. So if I go over here and we look at the throughput here, they should be closer to like 700. Well, that's wrong. Try this one. Right, 480, 265. I really don't know why trains are so complicated. It should just be like straight in, straight out. You know, like if the belt speed at the train station is 600 per minute, you know, or in our case 1950, then each one of these should be solid, right? It should be the same on both ends. Anyway, while we're riding the train, I have turned up the game noise a little bit, so let me know if the game is too loud. I can turn it back down. I will bring up the spreadsheet. So here we've got 5 bauxite lines. I'm going to condense them down into 3, and then we're going to overflow in that order: 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and then 4, 3 and 2 in that order. I hope that works. If that doesn't, then I'll have to design some sort of balance thing. I'm not going to leave the spreadsheet up for the whole time. But so essentially we've got to balance these 3 belts evenly amongst these 4 cars. Because when I did the math, 1950 times 6.33, or the 6 minutes and 20 seconds return trip, is 3.86 cars. So we need 3 and almost 4 cars. It'll change again in the future because I have to remove this old track and put a nice straight line up here. Sounds like we're working on a train commute. Yeah. Is the train too loud? Like, are the game sounds too loud compared to my mic? Right. So we'll leave that guy there. He should be empty. He's indeed empty. I'm going to need my cover pack. So what I was attempting to do was take this top line here, which is 750, because we've merged it with a small line down there, and then push that into one bin, but then send the overflow into the next bin. And then take the second line and put that into the second bin, and then overflow that into the third bin, and so on and so on and so on. However, the problem is that over the course of the 6.5 minutes, this one line can fill this plus that. And then when this fills up, this has got nowhere to go. And so that's why we're getting kind of like a limited amount here. Because we should be taking, like, if these are all full, I don't know why. Yeah, see, this shouldn't be this low. This should be up to 80%. By the time the train comes back here, this should be like 80% of the way through. Right? So the fact that this is only getting 440 items per minute seems very strange to me. Because it should be whatever the 1950 is divided by. Not going to be 4, but we've got 1950 divided by 4. 487. But that's not going to be the case. It's going to be more like 600 in each of these. So the plan is to, we might have to do a little bit of changing here. But with this first one, we should be taking that 750 line and sending it into freight 1 and 2. So it's currently going into 1, but we need to send it into 1 and 2, not overflow into 2, but 1 and 2. So instead of overflow, this should be bauxite. So bauxite, and that's going into there. Now overflow, we could have that come out the back. Maybe we can sneak a belt down the side here. Either way, the problem is that I have the overflows on the wrong side. Like the overflow needs to be the last thing. So it's a little bit tricky. Sean J. Dub, hello. Game sounds fine to me. That's good to know. Thanks, Cosmic. I there's something screwy with OBS and the way that I've added the Satisfactory sound. Like I turned it up by a full 1.5 decibels, and that should really affect it, but it doesn't seem to affect it at all. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'll have to listen to the last couple of VODs and see what's up. I do have the hover pack on a low volume, so you probably can't hear it, and that's fine, because otherwise it's just this constant drone. So if we bring that 750, we split it between those two, then that should be enough room for this. But then this is going to be split between these two as well. So this is going to be bauxite. And then this other one is send 3 and 4 and 600 into freight 3 and 4. Right. Okay. So this is another 300 there, and this is 300 coming in here. They get combined, merged, and then this goes into 3 and 4. Right? The difference is that I need to remove this 150 from up there. So we've merged it to keep it simple. But I can take some off here because this is a smart splitter. No, it's a conveyor splitter. Maybe what I need to do is change this to be a smart splitter. And so we'll do bauxite there, and then overflow. That will bring the overflow down to there. And we could merge some there. And we could merge some here. And it has to go in that order. So I'll put another smart splitter here. That's a merger. so we can do overflow and then bauxite. It's annoying that that doesn't link up. It's got something to do with the smart splitter on a line. So we'll just do that. Let's change my build color anyway. I've also noticed that sometimes the exit key is not working. The escape key. And the X also not working. Okay. So then this will go overflow, bauxite. Because we want it to fill from the back first with any extra. No. Does that work? Merger. No, that has to stay there. Right. Okay. That's overflow to the right. Yeah, see, it worked there. So this is all being merged into this one here and then going out to the left. And then that's going in there and overflowing to the left. This one is only going to overflow that way if this one is off. This one needs to connect here. So this, do I need this at all? I don't know that I need that. Right, so that should go in there. And it is filling 3 and then 4. And then here we want to fill priority here. That's a merger. Need a belt there. Where's the... Why won't it let me attach a belt to it? That's dumb. What is going on? It's facing the right way. It's like giving me orange arrows on the output. It's wild. I mean, whatever, we don't need it. We can just go straight in here, but that's weird. What? What is going on? It's like this whole thing is just not allowing me to add stuff to it. Alright. Screw this. We're just going to delete the whole thing. Update 8 really has some bugs, and it's very frustrating. Yeah, like that's not reading it at all. Oh, because it's off sideways. Let's just build all the way up there. Bauxite out that way. Well, that's why it was off. It wasn't lined up with this. The fact that they let you replace splitters where they are is cool, but then you can't rotate them. Even when there's no belts attached. It's like it locks it for you. It's annoying. Okay, let's try this again. Bauxite. Now it's working. Okay. So what's happening here, if I can kind of recover all that I've done, is that we should have this top line coming in here and prioritizing bin number 1. Yeah, so bauxite first and then overflow. So bin number 1, it goes in here. And this is splitter. This is now not making overflow. This is a splitter, so it splits between box 1 and box 2. So that first line is split between the first 2 boxes because it's going to take 1.2 boxes over the course of the train return trip. So that's splitting. The overflow from here then goes to this machine, and we've got none coming out. So then it prioritizes the last machine and fills in there. And then when that fills up and this backs up, then we've got overflow to the right, and that goes into machine number 3. And then we have to get something down to machine number 2. What is this? That's just a regular splitter. I think I just used that to turn the corner. So this is going down here. This is a split, so that line is split between 2 and 3. And then this line is 600, and that's split between 3 and 4, so that's right. So I need to do the overflow from this big 750 line. It needs to be one more. And that's a merger there. Oh, autosave. Is there news on the patch coming out for update 8? This isn't it. This is still 264.901. You can see the early access version in the top left-hand corner. It was out on experimental on the weekend, but I don't remember them listing any bugs that I'm complaining about. They were listing mostly crashes and problems like that. So it wasn't anything crazy or anything gameplay related for me. So the only thing left to do is to get one more overflow. I feel like that should work. This doesn't have an overflow on it. So I think maybe what we can do here is have this be a smart splitter, have the overflow continue down, and I'll have to connect it to that line there. Yep. Run it down and have it be something that happens on the end. So this needs to be a smart splitter. Overflow, bauxite. Looks like it hooked up. And then we'll have another smart splitter here. That looks like it worked. And then this will be bauxite. And it should be none. Like we should be able to just end it there. So that should maximize what we have going on. So hopefully that balances everything. And as the train connects, I mean, these are all full. So there's no reason why the train should empty. It should be a pretty constant flow from our bins. The station might empty at Devastator, but the bins underneath should not. So these should be all full. I'm going to stop the train before we hit the station down at Devastator and double check that those are all 4 full bins, because if they're not, then there's some sort of bug where they don't bring the whole shipment with it, right? But the moment we leave, this whole thing should start just going like crazy to try and refill those containers. Yeah. What a mess. So I think what I want to do for this train line is I want to run it right down there. Currently we wind all through here. It's all windy through here. I just want to go straight down to our other line. So it'll be a high in the air line, and you can see right about there is where I want to go. Straight down that way. So it's not that high off the ground, which is nice. Plus it means we don't have to go through these trees, and it'll change the round trip time and all that stuff. So I think, see that gap? It's hard to see. Basically in line with that little balloon thing. I do need to remove some trees, but that's what I'm thinking of. If I move the train line, that I don't have to blow up everything. I can have a higher train line that goes above the trees. I think that'll be better. I know we've done this a couple hundred times, but riding trains is always fun in this game. I've been looking for another building game that focuses on trains, where that's the main thing, but they seem to be very finicky in terms of their UI and buildables and stuff. Thankfully, all of this seems to be working quite well. So I want to double check this, make sure we're not going outside the zone here. I think we're good. Yep. 3,200, 3,200, 3,200, 3,200. So they are all full. So there's no problem there. These are all empty, and of course the whole thing is going to be empty because we've been gone for like 20 minutes. So the idea with these buffers is that you're supposed to pull out twice as much as you're sending out the bottom. So two lines come in to the bin below, and only one line goes out. Problem is, we've got 3 bays of machines. Each needs 600, and we've got 4 lines. And I don't think that I've done a very good job balancing things underneath the machines. So I feel like what we need to do, we'll test it out, but I've got a funny feeling what I need to do is do a load balancer here, where I take these 4 and smash them down into 3 lines. And all that means is taking one of these, preferably the one that has the most in it, splitting it 3 ways, and then just merging it 1 on each line. It's a fair amount of belt work. We do have the room, which is fine. I don't want to go as far as here, but like we do have some room here to do it. it would just, because we can't go super vertical, we'd have to snake this around and kind of do some stuff here. But it would be possible. And that would remove one of these lines going down. But yeah, each one of these, I think we maybe have to change all these to Mark 5s. Oh, I don't have any aluminum plates. I'll have to go get some more, but I also need to take a break. Too many things happening at once. So if you're new to the stream, folks, I take a break once an hour. It gives me a chance to step away, grab a little bit of a stretch, fill the old water bottle up again. And thankfully, the break time and the night time in Satisfactory are about the same. So the sun should be up when we get back. And then we can grab some more aluminum sheeting and hopefully sort out what's happening underneath the train station. So give me about 5 or 6 minutes, and I will be right back. Simrian, hello, hello. Welcome in. You've got 5,000 hours in Satisfactory? Wow. I know there's a lot of people that have way more hours than me, but I felt pretty good with my 1,500 hours. Marcus, good to see you. Alright, first stop, we need our oh, that was the wrong one. Our plates. I think they're back here. Yep. Anybody else wish you could slide downstairs? I mean, I know you can, but I kind of wish you could just kind of hold down slide and slide all the way down. Great. Sometimes I want to put in like a stopgap there where I can get off at the entrance to everything if I really wanted to. Alright, so all of these are going to be upgraded to Mark 5. And I'm going to change my build color again. See, escape here doesn't exit the menu. That's output, that's output, that's output. Okay, so those are all Mark 5. So this should be, I'm not sure how this is going to break down. I don't think it's going to be 600 per minute. The way that it's belted should be 750. But I've got no clue. It should be a little bit more even. But 750, 600, not 450. 600. So that's our 1950. So that doesn't make any sense. So this should be 600. That's 1800, and then this is at most 150, but it's probably going to be more evenly spread between the four of them. But there's no way to tell. Yeah, the stairs are too short to slide down. Sliding down ramps is easy. Long ramps, if it's a long ramp, it's fun. So if it's all being evenly distributed, maybe that's not what I should be doing, but either way, getting these down to 3 lanes instead of 4, I don't know if it's something we can do here, or whether it's something that I'm just not doing properly at the box, like in the underfloor. So I'm gonna go take a look and see if there's something I can do to fix the way that things are coming in. There might be a way to do it easier. Because what's happening is this last line seems to run out. And if that's the case continuously, then what we'll do is we'll split it 3 ways and attach it to the other 3 lines. So I think the thing to do is to turn the train back on, and then we can turn our attention to something else and just kind of see what happens. So 458, 458, 458, and 51. So if I bring up my spreadsheet, what we can do is we'll tag this here. So it was 458 per minute. And what was that last one? 51. And if I tally that up, that is not 1925. It's also not 1800. So our minimum is 1800 and our maximum is 1950. It has to be at least 1800 for aluminum to run. So this is all wrong. So all that's going to have to be sorted out. I don't know what's happening there because we've got to figure out what's happening here first. So now I'll turn on the train. And what we should see happening downstairs is these things filling twice as fast as they can be emptied. So these will end up being empty, but the bins below should not be empty. I remember I used to slide downstairs as a kid. We used to bring the crazy carpet inside, slide down the stairs. In hindsight, not the best idea. Alright, he's off. So we should see these are being emptied at a really good clip, right? But then they're also sending their bauxite along. But if we look inside the bin, it should slowly be climbing. Yeah, because it's only being it's getting 2 belts at a time in, and it's being pulled out by 1. So in theory, we want this bin to always have a little something in it by the time the next train comes back. So it's a 6-minute timer. So 6:02. I'll come back in 3 or 4 minutes if somebody wants to remind me. So I've changed the way that these all work as well. This now has overflow. So this should not be overflowing. Like, that should be going straight into the machine. That's a Mark V. That's a Mark V. There should be no overflow. Like, that should all be being used first. So I'm going to double check all this. Mark V, Mark V, Mark V, Mark V. Because worst case scenario, we're just sending too much bauxite in. That's all Mark V. That's Mark V. Mark V. Okay, so the belts are all the right speed. That's a merger. Why is that a merger? Oh, it's going up. Oh, because that line ends. This is overflow to the left. So I've got some belt speed problems, I think, underneath the machines that's causing it to back up to here quickly, and it shouldn't be. I mean, unless that's 150 bauxite, because if it is, then great. So that should be priority left, overflow right. That's a merger. This should be bauxite right, overflow straight. Correct. Bauxite right, overflow straight. Bauxite right, overflow straight. Okay. Then inside, I'm going to double check all the belt speeds. Five, 5, 5, 5. Also 5. So then here's where I think it gets screwy. These are all 5s. That's a 5. That's a 5. So essentially, I think what I did wrong is this section in here. I think this slowdown is the issue. So we're going to pop in here and remove this. Yeah, I feel like each line... So this slowdown is probably causing an overflow back at the main bus. So I have to double check which one of those is the fourth line. I'm pretty sure that I've done this once before, and I'm pretty sure that this line over here on the right, this guy here, so our far left line when we go outside, I am pretty sure that that's the fourth car. And we're about due to go back anyway. So this is the fourth line. So that's the bottom. Yeah. So that's the bottom lane. Past Joel says, Present Joel, go check the thing. Thanks. Blast Jordan, take care. Have a good one. Appreciate you being here. Sorry it was mostly number crunching. We haven't really built much today so far. I don't see the train. Oh. There's something coming. I can't tell what train it is though. Oh, there it is there. So, the question is, yeah, so most of that emptied. So that's not good. That shouldn't happen. There's something wrong with our input at the bauxite. We should not have 3 lanes empty. These should still have stuff in them. That doesn't make any sense. We had 4 full boxes. I mean, it's a small blip as far as nothing. Like, there's only a small minute there where absolutely nothing was going. But that's probably enough to cause a slowdown in the production. And really, the way that I've planned it, it should mean that these numbers... Okay, is that a yellow light? What does that mean? I don't know what a yellow light means. See, now it's down to 385. But that's up to 283. So it's more even. That's good. And so that is the same throughput. Our last throughput was 1425. Our new throughput is 1438. So there's something just not working in terms of getting the amount of bauxite that we're mining onto the train. And I don't know where I've gone wrong. So I'm wondering if that bauxite that's being sent to the sink unnecessarily is one leak, I guess we could plug up. So I'll try just hooking in one belt at a time. Starting with the top one, which is the far right, so it's the far left on the inside. Far left on the inside. Pretty sure they just stay on the left. Yep. Okay. So this is the first line. And what I think I need to do here... That's a splitter. That's a splitter. That's a smart splitter. And so we're sending overflow out the front and bauxite to the right. These need 200. So these should all be Mark III belts, which they are. That's good. Where is the overflow going? My guess is over there. Yes, and that is slow. We should be sending that as fast as we can. Change that to a Mark V. And that is not on the lane that it should be. That should be on, I think this, well, that's the third lane, I guess. So this second lane is just straight up from down there. I think what I need to do, though, is remove this and this. That's a merger, and that's fine. That's just because that's coming in and out of there. And that's just the straight line. So I'm going to remove that as well. So those are our 3 lines. And hey, the belt licking doggo. What I should do is, this is taking 600. So there's really not that much coming out of here. What I should do is send it into this line. We'll need a merger. So instead of going underneath, we're just going to go straight to there. Oh, now I remember why I wasn't doing that. There's not enough room. What do I do? I guess we'll go under it. It's one way to get a tight corner when the belts don't work. I never thought about that. That's a cool idea. So I don't need that, and I don't need that. We're going to merge what's left over in belt 1 into belt 2. Right? So, and again, these ran out. That shouldn't be a thing. Is that even connected? And then this is not, that's not flowing either. That was weird. Alright, so that's the second line. This comes in like this. It just ducks underneath here and then connects into there. This becomes line 2. So that's 200, 200, 200. And then we got to do the same thing here, where we can just create a splitter, or a merger rather, here. And this would be priority to the right. Oh, it was already doing it. That's fine. So, overflow straight ahead. This is easier to remember. Because it also builds on the fact that we've got the overflow from the first bay happening here. And then this we can just take out to here. So why is this getting spotty? I guess it's because it's slowing down. Like, it makes sense that this line might be a bit spotty, as long as these lines aren't. There, so now any backfill that we've got happening is happening at the bus, but now I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this fourth line, because we need to somehow get it into these other lines. We do have a merger there, we do have a merger there, and I do have a merger there. I wish there was a way to tell how much was on a line. Like, I wish the game would show you like a display or something. Just looking for the belt liquor clip. Saw the aluminum clip. Currently has 59 views. Oh, nice. That's funny. Right. So this comes around here. And the idea was that it got split 3 ways into each line, which is what I just deleted. The number there was about 100 apiece. So what I had here previously was Mark IIs. I don't know whether that backs things up. It shouldn't. Mark II there. Yeah, see, that starts to stutter it a little bit. And then I had a Mark II here. So that does keep things flowing when these other 3 lines run out, but that's probably just because this line has been backed up because I had it unhooked. The fact that these are running out is not good, but that does provide a bit more of a safety. And we're at 90%, 89, 90. Don't need that there. 90. I guess we'll let this go and kind of see how it's going to pan out. Unfortunately, some of these things in game, you've got to let them roll a bit. Was that the wrong color? It is. See, now we're at 70. So now we're low on bauxite. Like it's not getting enough. So that's getting more than 300. So maybe what we need to do is just really jam these and see if that helps. It feels like it looks more elegant than it used to. I don't remember it looking that tidy. I might have deleted a couple of things along here. Also, that does need to be there. So that's good that it's sending most into the machine. Same thing here. Prioritizing the machine first. Now we did have an overflow at the end here that I should not need. There should not be anything going in here, but there is. So why is there... Because that's filling up. Well, we're at 94%. But we're back down to 79 here. I wish that updated in real time. Yeah, the belts stutter, I think, when they merge. I don't think it's a reflection of the belt being too full. I think it's just like a weird animation. Strangely, the final bay is higher when these are getting priority, like these get their materials first. It's really strange. You checked everything at the bauxite end, like where the miner is, to make sure that those belts are and numbers are correct? Yeah, I did that. I checked the miners. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and hover and check these all stream. We're going into the 80s. 87. 84. These were in the 70s a minute ago. 96. 96. 96. Okay, let's just leave this run. Because I do not have all of the concrete sorted for the export here. We are set for the output on the concrete, but we do not have the right amount of limestone coming in. It looks like we're short on water too. Why is this stuttering? I'm not seeing it drop below. Oh, there we go. So it is water. And that just means that this is not putting out 100%. No, it's at 91. I don't know if this piping setup is really the best for this, but we're bringing in 1200 limestone, and I don't need 1200. I need 1200 plus a bit. So if we check the sheet for my aluminum production, the sources we need to update, we need 1296. So I'm just going to grab one more miner and attach, you know, I'm just going to sacrifice one and just tune it to 96 and call it a day. So I need to figure out what miners is happening. And if I remember, we used 2 out the back. Oh no, I understood what you meant, Cosmic. I totally understood what you meant. There's 2 miners out this way. There's 300 coming in there, and 300 coming in there. So we need to add one more. And I would say it's probably easiest to just grab from back here. Like maybe this one? If there's an impure somewhere, or just normal. We could also bring those. There's other ones over here that are already tapped as well. Normal. That's Caterium. Normal. And that's already overclocked. So yeah, it looks like the easiest thing to do is just going to be grabbed from back here. We've already done 13. So 13 is overclocked. Whoops. And that is going to aluminum refinement. And that's 13. Rocky Desert. 13. So, should be able to just And this is 300 per minute. And then the other one is 9. Same idea. So this has been changed. This is no longer happening. So now I'm going to grab, yes, this one. Seems silly. I wish there was one closer. I guess we could always just bring in a lot of limestone. We could overclock these other two that I have belted up. Bring in an extra 300 limestone and just sink it, but that just seems... Alright, let's take a look and see what we've got going on. So, I've got these two here, but these are already belted up. So we'll go back and look at those and see whether that's going to be worth it. Keep on hitting the wrong key. See, I don't know why that shouldn't be slow, because this is only 300 on a 780 line. I don't know why it's chugging. It must be like the merging animation. Because then this has a stutter to it as well. You think this game ever get to the point where it's just too much to manage in terms of keeping up with everything? Oh, absolutely. I think that's why people start over a lot. Each needs 120. Pretty sure we checked all this. Ah, this needs to be more than 120 because this is the overclocked machine. This needs 144 per minute, so that actually needs to be a Mark III. Glad I caught that. That looks like it's doing okay. Still gets a skip on the water. Oh, you know what? It's because it's trying to pull too much water. It's trying to pull 180 per minute. And that's trying to pull 100. So, this is exporting 120. And this is exporting 120. So I need to... I can't put a valve there because I want stuff to go that way. What is one... This is 120. This is 180. So I need 60. So I need to put a valve going that direction. And see if that will work. And we'll put it here. Limit it to 60. That should mean that these will fill up faster. This is just straight up off now. What is going on? It's got all the things it needs. The whole line just stuttered. Why is that not flowing? Because all 120 water of this should go in here. Maybe that's the wrong spot for that. Maybe that needs to be up here. The flow rate is really slow. I don't think I need to put valves on every intersection. I hope not. I mean, I will if I have to. So it's definitely water that's keeping this from being more efficient. Yeah, there's the idle there. McScrewgunn, hello. Yeah, that's dropped to 64 now. These are back down to 67. How can it be 67 if it's full? And they're not low on bauxite, so that's good. Hey, hope everyone's having a good one. I don't understand. I really don't get it. I hope I don't have to put fluid buffers in here, because they would be big and I mean, they might look sticking out of the floor, they might look okay. I'd put them in between here. Getting enough coal. And it's emptying quickly. right. Yep, I just don't really know. Don't really know. I mean, like, they're all idle again. Like, why is the bauxite running out? I guess they eat 200 bauxite a minute, but like that shouldn't happen. With the way that we did the buffers, right? I mean, I've made a mistake somewhere, or something is just not functioning the way that it should. I mean, higher likelihood that I've made some sort of error. $501, $501, $501. So it's climbing, and $498. So I've got it pretty balanced. That part has been achieved. Let's go to aluminum production. Oh no, sorry, this is red forest. So this was 501 and 498. I mean, that's over 1800. So that, like, that's what I mean. It should not run out. So then the issue is that stuff is being sent into the awesome sink that shouldn't be, right? Bryn, you're welcome. Thanks for the compliment. I didn't want to go that far. Crap. Alright. Fine. Yeah, see, this shouldn't be happening. It should be all... There should be no overflow. Because we've got overflow inside. So why is this smart splitter doing something that it shouldn't? Oh, is there a belt in here maybe? This is one of the ones that... No. These all seem to be flowing pretty smoothly. I checked all the speeds on everything, but we're definitely seeing some stoppage. I mean, I could just turn off the overflow out here, right? That's not how I thought overflow worked. I thought overflow would only prioritize when the belt was full. guess the issue is that we're probably... I mean, these are 780 lines. And that little bit shouldn't cause them to be something that stutters, right? Why is there... I just turned this off, did I not? Sometimes this game makes you feel like you're losing your mind. Right, so there's the end of that line. That line stopped. So that's the first problem. That shouldn't happen. Yeah, see? First machines run dry. Fourth line runs dry. So the backup line runs dry, so that's not good. It's these three that should run out, and then that one should be the last. Yeah, pipes are also a pain, I agree. Yeah. So that's what's causing the slowdown, is it's bauxite is still not working. Now, why did these continue? Oh, spoke too soon. Now it's all done. Yeah. All right. So we're not going to get this to 100% today because I don't know what's going on. I have more stuff to figure out. Sun is going down, and that means it's time for me to take another break. So I'm going to pop over to the old break train, and I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Thank you, Cosmic. So I don't know how to fix the bauxite. I'll have to tackle that again on my own and figure out a way to create a load balancer up in the red forest. Maybe retime the drive. Maybe I've made some sort of timing error. Something like that. The other thing that we can look at, though, is what's happening with... I think, does this work? Can't remember. No, sucks me back down. I'm not sure why this one is so fast. So we've got this to finish up too. It won't be running at 100% because, of course, the aluminum is not coming at 100%. But they're up in the 80s, it looks like. The thing about having smelters inside, it always feels really gross. I mean, 97, 95, that's pretty good. I think one of the problems downstairs is that scrap is produced so quickly that the machine idles out, whereas these are 2-second bits, like construction cycles. Right now we've got all this stuff flying into here and just being wasted. So I could lay out some constructors here and start to think about how we're going to be making our casings and stuff. That's one thing we could do. I could also just do some design work as well, because like this is not all finished. These have got holes and whatnot, so we haven't really sorted all that out either. And of course the other thing is that all of this stuff is supposed to be going towards the main storage, which is temporarily here, but I need to take a look and see how I want to change this, because I'm not super happy with the way that Devastator looks at the moment. This is all old design from before they added all kinds of cool new base parts. So if we take a look at my plans and, you know, specifically this image here, you know, there's some cool stuff we could do to make that a lot larger. In terms of the chest piece, we could probably build a lot of really interesting shapes. And so what I think about when I think about that, like I think about kind of like his abdomen section, and it would be kind of cool to have that kind of section start kind of like right there. So this whole thing would probably be up a lot higher. And the idea is that I want this to go over the roof of whatever these buildings are. So it'll be a lot bigger too. And really eye-catching. And then that'll allow us to get some detail and stuff in here. And the plan is to then figure out where up here the storage room is going to go. I knew that was going to happen. So I think the storage room is going to be a lot higher. And I'm going to start planning for a sushi belt to bring everything in and start sorting it out. So we've got some room kind of like in this area here on the lower levels to do that. And the other thing, of course, is switching over our heavy modular frames so that they don't take screws anymore. And then I realized that all that iron that we're using to make screws, we can then put into our steel factory and get steel factory running up and at full snuff. So the last thing that we were talking about, though, was the concrete for our export. And that's all down here. Yeah, I think there's a pixel art Decepticon thing in his chest. I would probably do that right in the middle. I think that would look awesome. So here's that concrete that's all, sorry, limestone that's all belted up. It just needs to be sent and combined with the other limestone. So these are Mark II miner 120 per minute, Mark II miner 120 per minute. These should be both. Those are 60 belts. So first off, that's going to have to change. And then the other line right here, and I'm pretty sure that's coming in from here. So I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to actually grab this limestone node and underclock it and attach it to that and just give it an extra 96, because that's what we need. We've got 600 coming in from there. We just before the break we did the 300. I guess I gotta change this. This is actually going to be going so it's one normal overclock to 300 per minute. So I forgot that this was right along this line, so that's going to be the easiest thing to do. Oh good, I'm glad I thought of that. Because we've got enough concrete around, we're not going to run short of limestone. Let me just double check. This is limestone number 1. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Pure, overclocked to 250. To wet concrete production, heavy modular frame tab. That's not where it's going. That is going to wet concrete production, aluminum tab. And then this is going to change. This is going to be 96 per minute. So what we'll do is we'll move this down. This will be 600. It'll be 696. And the backup concrete will just not be happening. I'll just call this merge. And that won't be 75%, it'll be something else. All right, so we just follow this line. I didn't know I could fit through there in the air. Pretty sure this just travels underneath the whole thing. Yeah. Was I smart and painted the whole way? I think I did. Oh, almost. Switch to this. Maybe it just looked green. I'm not sure why it's painting if it's already beige. Weird. And green out there makes sense. Okay. Right, so there's a constructor right over here. A couple of constructors. Actually, you know what? I could probably... I don't know if there's a way to do this without creating an issue. So we need to connect it. Unfortunately, it's on the wrong side. So this little miner here is just making concrete and going into a box. This is what was helping when I was constructing this whole thing. I just needed concrete constantly. So I had this hooked up. I feel like the easiest thing to do is just going to be delete all this rather than trying to siphon off 96. The easiest thing to do... I mean, I guess I could double it, but we'll just do 96 parts per minute, so 80%. And then I'll just get rid of all this. I'll leave the concrete bin here because it's probably full of concrete. Excellent. And then this, we just have to have it connect here. That lane right there. I don't know why that truck stop is there. So I think what we'll do is we'll loop it underneath, but we'll keep it to the ceiling. Have an eye on the weather. We're supposed to get our first snow overnight tonight. Weather warning for snow and ice. Yikes. You work from home though, right? So that, I mean, that shouldn't be too bad. The merger will go right here. And then we'll do B Mark II lifts. Building with your default as your custom swatch always gives you black. I wish that wasn't the case. It's too bad. So we'll do 7. Enough room probably there. And then from here, we'll just go straight up. Maybe. Look at that. 80%, 96 per minute. That will join that line. And that's our 1296. Excellent. Okay. Let's do this before I forget. So it's 80%. So 1 and 2, 9 and 13. Yep. 1, 2, 9, and 13. Two, 9, and 13. That's the source. And 1296. One refining at 180. That's all right. Industrial storage container. That is not what's happening here. This is actually going to heavy modular frames. Yep. So we'll go with, I guess this just goes straight out. This is temporary. We actually don't have that container built up just yet. So this is going to go to no, not beams, beams. Encased industrial beams, and that is under heavy modular frames. Alt. And this is not limestone, this is concrete. It takes a little while to write everything down, but man, helps a lot in the long run. Excellent. Okay. That's done. What is not done? I don't have a lot of space. Might as well trim a few whenever we come down here, right? Oh, I'm not going to delete stuff. That's just annoying. All right. I noticed some more of these around though. Oh, we're not getting anything. Time to go empty the inventory, I guess. Since we've been hovering out here a while, have these changed at all? 505, 505. See, if this is bringing in with 19, that's close to 1950, right? 505. 505 times 3, 1515, and then 1515 plus 493. So that's more than 1950, which isn't possible because it's only 1950 at the source. But the fact that we've got 2000 here, which is more than enough. The factory only needs 1800. So I've got something going on with my belt speeds or my overflow or something. Unless that's just wrong. Like, unless that's giving me an incorrect reading, at which point, man, that would be really annoying. Yeah, I really need to start decorating this place. It looks very early Satisfactory. It doesn't feel like 1,000 hours. I guess I have to remember that the power facility took me almost a year on the calendar to do, so, you know, weekend streams and stuff like that, so that's fair. No guts. Right, I don't think I need all of this concrete. Yeah, I'm not going to use small bins either the next time I do storage. I'll use some big ones. They're just too much of a pain to connect to. Like the hitboxes on these suck. Alright, I think we're good. So that takes care of the concrete. I think I had one more spot. Right. So I need to move this. I guess add a line. That's 96, and that's number 2. That's number 1. And this was 9. And this was 13. And that takes care of this little question mark. That was like, where is that coming from? I just have to make sure that this is 696. And I forgot what that overclocked refinery is. But that fixes that problem. And now we're good. It's just a matter of figuring out what's happening after that. Nice. So down here, what's going to end up happening is we're going to need more pipes. We're going to remove the screws. But down over this way, we have all of these encased industrial beams. And what's happening is that concrete that we're sending over here, which is over this way, right? This is going to go in here, but then when it's done going in here, it's going to go back and join the main line. I would imagine probably about there, give or take. Because at some point along here, I have to pick one of these lanes and make it my going to my storage bin. And what's nice about some of the things that we're producing now at this end of the factory is that we're not producing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds per minute. We're producing like 200 or 60 or 20, and you can combine all of that onto one belt. And if I can choose the belt, ideally it would be something like the middle. We would designate maybe like the middle one, or maybe the far left one. Probably makes sense to be the middle, because then I could reach it from both sides easily. So I might move that cable over someone over here, and then keep this as its own line, and have this go all the way down through here. It's also pretty high, so that's good. And then we can start pulling from that, or send it up to storage when we want to. Do you need to reuse screws somewhere else, or they're not going to be used anymore? I don't need them. I've got 2 alternate recipes. The 2 big things you need screws for are heavy modular frames. I don't think you need screws for modular frames. That's our heavy modular frames. Modular frames are upstairs. I think these are rods. Yeah, reinforced plates and rods. We're using stitched plating, so it's using copper wire. So it's plates and wire instead of plates and screws. And these ratios will change, but what's nice about this is that I don't have to rebuild any of this. I can just change the numbers in here to match what we need for the change for next door. And then with that screws, we're missing steel ingots, right? We're short 1,200 per minute because the top floor is not on, but we're probably sending that into screws. Right, so here's, yeah, 1,600. It's being fed by this, which is 30 times 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we're going to be able to get all this stuff back. And we don't have to tear this out either. It's already set up. They're already importing and exporting. They've got all the belts happening below and above. So with this, what I can do is I can just stop them. We'll take this belt that's feeding them and send it to steel next door. And I feel like we did that downstairs. Don't remember. Yeah, there's the ingots going next door there. So we didn't bring them out onto the main bus just because it felt like we'd be sacrificing main bus room just to move it to the next building. So I could bring in a third line there from upstairs. The reason why we're redoing this is because we found an alternate recipe that we did not have access to before. I think that's them there. Yeah. So, very easy. You know what? It might even line up. Very close to it. So we just have to take this and run it between these guys. Or at least over to here. And sort that out. I mean, we just raise that up and just have them all go in sideways. I have to figure out a permanent solution to all of this. I still don't think that these are running at... oh, I guess they are running at 100%. Well, some of them aren't. Still don't know why some of this stuff happens. It's obviously not being used. So we'll have to look at those calculations again. But it means that we don't have to do all this stuff with the screws, and it means that we don't have to bring screws over 4 belts all the way down to the last factory. Like, you can just see the top of it right over there. So all of that does not need to happen anymore, and that's awesome because they fill belts so fast. As cool as it looks, we'll have to figure out something else. We might have to do something else with the constructors. I'm not sure what else we could make with them, but I'm sure we could find something. We may have more iron needs in the future, and there are iron nodes right over there. One right there. Yeah, you just see it on the edge there. Yeah, right there, and they're pure. So we could bridge that, bring it on into the side here, and then feed it into this if we needed to. I mean, we'd have to smelt it first, but I've got room to do that downstairs, I think. So I think I like the way that this looks too. I think I'm going to continue with this kind of this pattern, this idea. I'm tempted to open this up as well. Have the same kind of design on it. Maybe not the whole thing. Maybe we'll just do like a section. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Now that we've got bauxite up and running, even though it's not running at 100%, I now at least have casings and aluminum sheets, which means that I can do all of the things that I need to in the factory to keep things moving. So, like I said, the next thing we're going to do is going to be revamping heavy modular frames, which I know I feel like I just did that. But it's a nice thing about this game is that if you've got something that's not going smoothly like aluminum, then you've got something like this that you can revamp. And I didn't like this at all anyway, so we will figure out another way to bring all those things in. Hopefully we'll do it all underneath it. And I might just even extend this platform and bring them in from below, and we'll figure it out that way. I do like what I have going on down below. I think it's like almost looks like a waterfall. It won't need all the screws, but we could do a couple of different belts of things. Rather than taking these straight up here, we could take them under the ground. Right there. and then just bring them up in the window as well and do it that way. And that could be fun. So, and I like what I did down here as well with the exports. So when we bring something back onto the main bus, like these pipes that you see flowing, I like this. I like this kind of pillar design that has things coming out of the factory, and then that just hooks up down here. You can see them going through right there. So we could do more of that. We're going to be making extra steel, and then all of that is going to be sent over to what will be motors and stators in that area. So lots more to come. I think this is where I'm going to wrap it up for today. I'm starting to get hungry, so it's a good time for me to grab some dinner. I'm going to pass you along to somebody else playing Satisfactory. And I'm probably going to take a day to myself tomorrow, but I'll be back on Thursday with some Minecraft. No, Satisfactory again, as per the schedule. So I might squeeze in some Minecraft tomorrow. We'll have to see. I am trying to press on and get more done with West Hill. So hopefully that'll be something we can do in the future. BL Andrew is currently live. That sounds like a good spot to send y'all. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks ever so much for the bits. Thanks for the follows and the subs. Appreciate it all. And I'll see you either tomorrow or Thursday. But if you're in the Discord, you'll get a heads up. Tomorrow, if I play, I might take a break from Satisfactory. I might do some work in West Hill. That could be kind of fun. And yeah, BL Andrew is a very creative, very brute force builder. Huge save. Lots of stuff flying around. I'm sure you'll have a good time. I will catch you all next time. Bye for now.